Hello and welcome to the Tom Marshall Media Podcast. To those who are joining the channel for the first time, hello and welcome. And hello again to those existing subscribers. Welcome back to the channel. If it's your first time, today we are going to do something slightly different to what I normally do on the channel, reviewing films and TV shows. If those of you that are existing members may remember, earlier in the month I did a video called The Directors, where I looked at the individual artists of the directors, whether it be male or female, and we started off with Quentin Tarantino, which went quite well. And so this time what we're going to look at is the actors, the actor. Today we are going to look at the man, the myth, the legend, Tom Cruise. Let's go. Tom Cruise is the last great movie star of our time. He's an actor, producer, and you can easily make the case for stuntman. He's multi-talented and rides motorcycles, cars, helicopters, planes, you name it. If it has an engine, it's pretty safe to say he can pilot it, or if not, he'll find a way. He's got many awards for his work, from Golden Globes to the Palme d'Or, the French Oscars, and has been nominated several times for the Academy Awards, which he should have won. His career started in the 80s, possibly one of the greatest eras in cinema in my opinion, and was off to a flying start. Starting out with movies like Tapped, The Outsiders, Risky Business, having a slew of hits to his name, but it wasn't until a certain film that jetted him off to superstardom. See what I did there? His films have grossed over $12 billion and has become one of the highest paid actors of all time, as well as one of the most bankable stars of all time. He is one of those actors who is most definitely a safe bet. You just know what you're going to get with Tom Cruise. Or do you? Along the way, he has thrown some unusual curveballs and made some interesting choices. Films like Eyes Wide Shut, Magnolia, and Vanilla Sky, my personal favourite of the Tom Cruise weird era. Really going all out, bed stillers, comedy satire about the inner workings of Hollywood and the group of people making the best fake movie of all time, Tropic Thunder. His character name, Les Grossman. His choices have been varied from doing science fiction, comedy to action, romantic dramas, and everything in between. He established himself as a science fiction star, as well as action, starring in the Mission Impossible franchise, The Edge of Tomorrow, War of the Worlds, Minority Report, and Oblivion, often doing his own stunts in his films. Films such as the Jack Reacher franchise and The Last Samurai. Tom Cruise has the world record for the most $100 million grossing movies of all time, an achievement he achieved around 2012 to 2018. He has often been criticized for his beliefs and opinions on various different subject areas. But we are not really here to talk about his personal life. That is why it's called a personal life. If he wants to choose to talk about it, he's more than welcome to. But today we are merely going to focus on his acclaimed body of work that he has done as an actor. This is why we're here. This is one of the main reasons why we like Tom Cruise. He has had such a varied and distinguished career, and we are going to look at my top 10 films of Tom Cruise. Let's get into it. Okay, my top 10 Tom Cruise films starts at number 10 with Risky Business. Sometimes you gotta say, what the fuck? It's about a Chicago teenager is looking for fun at home while his parents are away, but the situation quickly gets out of hand. It's a simple story of coming of age and what it means to be responsible for something other than yourself. And it has a really cool musical number and dance that I think we've all tried at some point in our lives. Da, 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 da. Ba, 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 da, ba, ba. At number 9, Cocktail. The first time I ever thought about drinking. Laugh out loud. Just kidding, just kidding. This movie is great and has great characters and is all about trying to be successful and working hard, doing whatever it takes. And it just so happens to have one of the greatest speeches known to man, like this. I am the last barman poet. I see America drinking the fabulous cocktails I make. Americans getting stinky on something I stir or shake. The sex on the beach, the schnapps made from peach, the velvet hammer, the Alabama slammer. I make things with juice and froth, the pink squirrel, the three-toed sloth. I make drinks so sweet and snazzy, the iced tea, the kamikaze, the orgasm, the death spasm, the Singapore sling, the ding-a-ling. America, you've just been devoted to every flavour I've got. But if you want to get loaded, why not just order a shot? Bars open. Doesn't get any better than that. At number 8, Rain Man is truly one of the greats. Tom Cruise and Dustin Hoffman work really well together. The story is about an LA guy who learns that his estranged father has left a fortune to his autistic savant brother in Ohio, didn't even know existed. At first, he is hesitant to connect with his brother and has no idea how to handle somebody with a disability. What I like about this film is both characters grow throughout. Charlie Babbitt becomes a brother and cares for him, realizing that manipulating him wasn't the way to go. And afterwards, after a while, he sort of nurtures him as well. There's one really great scene in this film, more towards the end of the film, where Raymond yells and screams at Charlie, seemingly out of nowhere for no reason, and Charlie figures out that Raymond is actually protecting him, and this becomes a major turning point in their relationship and in the film as well. So, very, very, very good scene. At number 7, Days of Thunder. The reason why this film is in my top 10 is because it's timeless. It's about achievement and winning. It also doesn't paint a pretty picture when it comes to losing, either which I think something has been lacking in Hollywood lately. Everyone lives happily ever after. Back in the day, it used to be that the bad guys get a rather gruesome death. Nowadays, the bad guys just get locked up and get taught a lesson about good versus evil, and that's the end of it. The idea now, people just get a participation award just for showing up, creates a false sense of achievement when that person enters the real world, hasn't got the tools to deal with a tough boss who says their work is utter bollocks. And I've said this before, but I am drawn to films that have a mentor-mentee relationship, and this film has it in spades. And the relationship with the pit chief Harry Hodge, Robert Duvall's character, and the character played by Tom Cruise, Cole Trickle, is excellent. Also, you don't have to be a fan of NASCAR to enjoy it. It's rooted in the story of the behind the scenes of racing and the characters involved. Kind of reminds me of Ted Lasso. You're not watching it for the football, you're watching it for the players and what they go through on and off the field and the ups and downs of it all. And is why you tune in, week out. If you're a hardcore NASCAR lover, the racing probably makes no sense whatsoever. It's mainly there to set the scene and the tone of the film. It's just merely background and doesn't take anything away from the film or the story, or make it overly complicated with the racing jargon. At number 6, The Last Samurai, a film where Tom Cruise loses and plays a drunk, dealing with loss, grief, and survivor's guilt. What? Surely not. He always plays the hero, no? This film is amazing. It's a great spectacle about what it means to devote your life to something fully. Edward Zwick directs the shit out of this film and incorporates culture, religion, and war all in one film. The battle sequences are incredible, and Tom Cruise and Ken Watanabe work really well together in this. I enjoy very much our conversations in English. So good. Ken Watanabe is definitely the standout actor character in this film. So good. Such an amazing cast, both Japanese and Western actors across the board. This is a character that has deeply troubled past and is captured. He immersed himself in the world of the samurai and incorporates it into his own life, something that, to start with, didn't fully understand. I'm sure there's a metaphor in there somewhere, but I'm not really smart enough to figure it out or articulate it enough or to even come up with one. So at number 5, Collateral. This is one of those films, rare instances, where Tom Cruise actually plays a villain. It's about a cab driver who finds himself hostage of an engaging contract killer as he makes the rounds from hit to hit around Los Angeles. It's directed by Michael Mann and stars a very young Jamie Foxx and Tom Cruise. A great film that showcases both actors' range and abilities in a simple and effective story. At number 4, Tropic Thunder. This was an outrageous choice for Tom Cruise to make, playing an executive producer with fat hands and who dances. He only has a small role in the film, but it's most definitely the most impactful role in the film. The film is about a series of freak occurrences and a group of actors shooting a big budget war movie and are forced to become the soldiers that they're actually portraying. It's a satirical look behind the curtain of Hollywood and filmmaking, and it's hilarious. Go fuck your own face! Coincidentally, Robert Downey Jr. was actually nominated for an Oscar for this role as Kirk Lazarus. This film would never get made today, but I'm glad they did, as it pokes fun at political correctness, and it's just cool. At number 3, Edge of Tomorrow. I really enjoyed this film. It's Groundhog Day meets Saving Private Ryan, about a man who has to live the same day over and over again to help win the war against the aliens that have taken over Earth. He's a public relations officer in the army and has been ordered to document the beach landings. It all goes horribly wrong when the aliens set a trap for them. Cage, Tom Cruise's character, is a bit of a coward to start with and constantly trying to get himself out of everything, coming up with every excuse in the book. When he's on the beach, he kills one of the rarer aliens and has the ability to relive the same day over and over and over again. He partners with Rita Vitalski, that's Emily Blunt's character, and together they help win the war. But unfortunately, Cage has to watch her die over and over again. I can't imagine what that does to a person, but it can't be good. As he is trained up, his confidence grows and becomes a much better fighter, to the surprise of his teammates. As halfway through the film, he single-handedly takes out all the aliens that are around them. It's a fantastic idea, it's well executed and directed by Doug Liman, who started off the Bourne series. At number 2, Top Gun. Shock, controversial. Why is this not on my number 1 spot? Well, it was very much a commercial success for Tom Cruise that let the world know I am Tom Cruise and I have arrived. With a slew of successes under his belt of teen comedies and dramas, this is a great way to push him up to the next level, a vehicle that would set him up basically for the rest of his career. It made a huge impact on the world of pop culture, as it has to be one of the most quoted films of all time, and gave birth to many Navy pilots at the same time. I like the competition aspect, and again, not deluding to that aspect of losing. Having real stakes, the camaraderie that comes with being in the military appealed to me also. You may have guessed it, you may not have guessed it, but to me, this is my personal choice. My number 1 Tom Cruise film of all time is A Few Good Men. So why is this number one and not Top Gun? Well, for me, this was the film that really cemented the idea of Tom Cruise being a leading man. This was the film that impressed me the most. It had everything going for it. It was adapted well from a play of the same name by Aaron Sorkin. It had Jack Nicholson, Demi Moore, Kevin Bacon, Kevin Pollock, and that's just the main cast. The supporting actors involved was ridiculous as well. Kiefer Sutherland, Cuba Gooding Jr., the dude from ER, Noah Weil, and so on and so on and so on. It's a courtroom drama that doesn't feel drawn out and boring at any moment, and the script flowed well, including some great speeches such as the Colonel Jessup speech, which apparently he did over 40 times, note perfect every single time. He did that so that they can get the actors' coverage, so that they can get their reaction each time to the speech, because usually when an actor says his lines and the camera's facing the opposite way and it's not on them, it's on the opposing actor's face to get their reaction shots, the actor generally tends to go off to their trailer and head back home. And Jack Nicholson stayed for the entire time, redoing the same speech over and over again so that they can get an honest and truthful reaction. Jack Nicholson supposedly was only on the film for a few days, but stayed on because of this for a whole week, maybe I think 2 weeks. He was on that film and stayed to get that shot. It all seemed to fall into place with this movie. You root for everyone in the film, from the lawyers to the defendants. It's well paced and doesn't go too deep into the lawyer jargon either, and you are totally engrossed in the story as well as the story of the case and the people involved. I think this is the quintessential courtroom drama of modern times and has been referenced in so many other shows such as Suits, hitting the zeitgeist and popular culture while also being artful and commercial at the same time. So there you have it. There's my top 10 Tom Cruise films. Let me know in the comments and chat your top 10 Tom Cruise films and get the conversation started. He's been a prominent figure in Hollywood for close to 40 years now, maybe longer, and is very much a safe bet. Every time you see his name on the poster, you think, yep, I know what I'm going to get. This is going to be good. He's got some great stuff in the pipeline at the moment. Looking forward to the final installment of the Mission Impossible franchise. Let me know what you think in the comments. Are you a fan? Are you not? Do you admire him despite his personal life and his personal beliefs? Can you disassociate his personal life with his actual body of work and appreciate what he's done for Hollywood and what he has accomplished in his career? Let me know what you think. It would be great to get the conversation going. So thank you very much for watching. I shall see you in the next video.